Esteemed enthusiasts of the seventh art, prepare yourselves for a meticulous analysis of The Eye and the Wall, a cinematic work that emerged on the independent scene in 2021, inviting us to a profound reflection on the fragility of human relationships and the silent obsession that permeates contemporary life. As a filmmaker who has dedicated decades to deciphering film language, I can affirm that this is a movie that anchors itself in the viewer's experience, demanding active participation and a willingness to be enveloped by its subtle layers and deliberately paced rhythm. From the first frames, The Eye and the Wall establishes a tone of quietude and strangeness. The minimalist, almost austere art direction contributes to the feeling of a contained environment, where every object seems to carry symbolic weight. The use of color is particularly notable. The desaturated tones and predominantly cool palette reinforce the alienation and emotional distance of the characters. There are no explosions of color to break this visual melancholy, and this is not a flaw, but rather an intentional choice that deepens the immersion into the protagonist's psyche. The cinematography, in turn, is a spectacle in itself. Long, fixed shots are employed with mastery, transforming the act of observing into an almost voyeuristic experience for the audience. We are invited to be silent witnesses, peering through cracks in windows, feeling the discomfort of invasion and the anguish of exposure. This technique not only builds the atmosphere, but also mirrors the film's own theme: constant surveillance and the invasion of privacy in the digital age. The script, though seemingly simple in its premise, reveals psychological complexity as the narrative progresses. The plot unfolds around a reclusive protagonist whose existence gradually becomes obsessed with the lives of his neighbors. There are no major plot twists or explosive dramas. Tension is built organically through small gestures, furtive glances, and eloquent silences. This is a film that breathes in the intricacies of the unspoken, where the absence of dialogue is often more potent than any speech. The choice to focus on characters who express themselves more through their actions and reactions than through words is a risky move, but one that works masterfully here. The viewer is forced to fill in the gaps, to interpret the clues, and to construct their own understanding of the internal conflicts that drive them. The screenwriter's ability to create figures so complex, it's so verisimilitudin, is one of the pillars supporting the quality of the work. Every character, even the secondary ones, has a palpable presence and an untold story that can be felt between the lines. It is the art of suggesting, rather than exposing, that elevates the film to a level of profound resonance. The narrative, though slow, never becomes tedious, as curiosity about what will unfold next keeps us hooked, awaiting the next fragment of information that will allow us to decipher the human enigma playing out before our eyes. It's a patient game, yes, but one that rewards the attentive viewer with powerful insights into human nature. Continuing our journey through The Eye and the Wall, it is imperative to address the subtlety and impact of the performances. The cast, largely composed of actors less known to the general public, delivers performances that border on perfection in their restraint. There are no excesses, no exaggerated dramas. What we see are viscerally real interpretations that mirror the introspective nature of the film. The protagonist, in particular, manages to convey an immense range of emotions with just a glance, with body language, with the way he moves or shrinks within his own space. His presence is both magnetic and repulsive, evoking in the viewer a mixture of compassion and a certain discomfort. The supporting actors also contribute to the density of the atmosphere, each adding a piece to the complex social puzzle the film presents. The chemistry between them, even in scenes with little verbal interaction, is palpable, creating a web of relationships that, though fragile, sustain the narrative structure. The direction of the actors deserves applause, as it managed to extract the essential from each performer without ever falling into the temptation of melodrama. It is a triumph of the art of minimalist performance, where less is, undeniably, much more. The way characters communicate through silence, micro-expressions, and everyday actions is a testament to the depth that can be achieved with acting work focused on truth. The soundtrack of The Eye and the Wall is another element that deserves special attention. Far from being invasive or grandiose, it acts as an almost invisible layer, punctuating moments of tension and solitude in a sublime way. Ambient sounds are masterfully explored, transforming urban noise, the crackling of wood, or the murmur of the wind into essential components of the sonic experience. There is an intelligence in the choice of when to use music and when to rely solely on environmental sounds to build the atmosphere. When music is present, it is ethereal, almost ghostly, with chords that resonate the melancholy and strangeness that permeate the narrative. It is a soundtrack that does not seek to steal the scene, but rather to amplify the sense of isolation and the emotional complexity of the characters. Sound is a character in itself, shaping the viewer's perception and intensifying the feeling that we are immersed in a world where quietude is merely the surface of a whirlwind of unexpressed emotions. The sound design is exemplary, and the way it amplifies the sense of claustrophobia and constant surveillance is something few films manage to achieve with such effectiveness. It is through sound that much of the most subtle information is conveyed, inviting the audience to listen carefully to every detail, every whisper, every silence. The direction of The Eye and the Wall is, without a doubt, the driving force behind the cinematic mastery that unfolds on screen. The filmmaker demonstrates a clear and unwavering vision, opting for a pace that challenges the conventions of contemporary commercial cinema. The camera's patience in its long takes and the meticulous composition of each frame reveal absolute artistic control. There is no rush to reveal, to explain. There is a confidence in the viewer's intelligence and in the ability of images to communicate on their own. Every camera movement, when it occurs, is significant, loaded with purpose, never gratuitous. The way the director uses space, windows, and cracks to create a sense of imprisonment, and at the same time, constant peaking, is genius. He positions us at a viewpoint that is both privileged and uncomfortable, making us complicit in the protagonist's obsession. The direction is not afraid to embrace silence and time, allowing the narrative to breathe and emotions to manifest organically. It is a direction that invites contemplation, slow and deep immersion into a particular universe. The choice not to provide easy answers, but rather to raise questions and allow the audience to reflect on the moral and psychological complexities of the story is a mark of a courageous director with an authentic voice. This work does not seek to please everyone, but rather to provoke, instigate, and remain in the viewer's mind long after the theater lights come on. The precision with which the atmosphere of oppression and voyeurism is built is a testament to the director's ability to manipulate the public's perception, using all cinematic elements at their disposal to create a sensorially and emotionally rich experience. One of the most fascinating aspects of The Eye and the Wall is its thematic exploration of loneliness in the digital age. In a hyper-connected world, the film reminds us that physical proximity does not guarantee emotional connection. The protagonist, though surrounded by other human beings, lives in deep isolation, filling the void of his existence with distant and at times invasive observation of others' lives. This is a powerful and relevant social criticism, inviting us to question the nature of our own interactions and how truly connected we are to each other. The thin line between human curiosity and pathological obsession is masterfully explored. The film makes us think about the limits of privacy in a world where information is easily accessible and where physical barriers are increasingly tenuous. The work offers no explicit moral judgments, but rather presents a situation and allows the viewer to draw their own conclusions about the ethical implications of the characters' actions. It is a mirror for contemporary society, forcing us to confront our own relationship with technology and how we interact with the world around us. The film captures the essence of an era in which distant observation has become a common pastime, raising questions about the moral responsibility of those who observe and those who are observed. It is a meditation on the nature of visibility and invisibility in the 21st century. The narrative approach of The Eye and the Wall deserves in-depth examination as it deviates from traditional screenplay formats. The film adopts a structure that can be described as episodic, but with a fluidity that prevents it from fragmenting. There is no classic dramatic arc with an explosive climax in the conventional sense. Instead, tension gradually accumulates through the repetition of patterns and the intensification of observation. Each episode or segment of observation contributes to the construction of the protagonist's psyche and to the revelation of the observed's vulnerabilities. This narrative choice not only sustains the film's deliberate pace, but also accentuates the monotonous and, at the same time, absorbing nature of obsession. The feeling that we are witnessing something real, unfolding in almost real time, is one of the script's greatest achievements. The absence of expository dialogue and the reliance on visual language to convey information are key elements of this approach. The audience is invited to be a detective of the human soul, assembling the pieces of the puzzle through subtle clues and the gradual development of the characters' interactions. It is a narrative that values subtlety over spectacle and reflection over frantic action. The way the story unfolds, almost like a visual diary, allows for deep immersion into the protagonist's mind as he delves deeper and deeper into his world of secret observation. From an editing perspective, The Eye and the Wall is an example of precision and intentionality. The slow and deliberate pace is achieved through cuts that respect the duration of the shot, allowing the viewer to absorb every detail, every expression, every silence. There is no rush to cut, no abrupt cuts that break the immersion. The editing works in sync with the cinematography and the direction of the actors, reinforcing the sense of voyeurism and suspended time. There is an intelligence in the way scenes are juxtaposed, creating thematic and emotional connections without the need for narration or explanatory dialogue. The editing is almost a breath of the film, with pauses that invite reflection and moments of intensification that subtly increase tension. It is a work that prioritizes the construction of atmosphere and the exploration of the characters' psychology over rapid plot progression. The editing does not seek to manipulate the viewer with fast pacing, but rather to invite them into a state of contemplative observation. The art of prolonging a shot, of allowing the camera to linger, is one of the secrets to building the tension and emotional depth that permeate the work. It is an editing job that requires patience and a keen eye for detail, and one that rewards the viewer with a deep and captivating cinematic experience. The choice not to use jump cuts or flashy visual effects is a testament to the editor's confidence in the intrinsic strength of the images and the silent narrative, analyzing the central message of The Eye and the Wall. We realize that the film transcends the mere representation of a reclusive individual and his obsession. It positions itself as a potent statement on urban alienation and the fragmentation of community. Amidst large urban centers, where millions of lives intertwine and paradoxically isolate themselves, the 2021 workforces used to face the reality that we often live side by side without actually connecting. The lives of the protagonist's neighbors, exposed so intimately and vulnerably, serve as a microcosm of contemporary society, where appearances often mask pains, secrets, and repetitive routines. The wall in the title is not just a physical barrier. It is a powerful metaphor for the emotional and social barriers we build between us. It represents the distance we maintain, even when we are only a few feet away. The eye, in turn, symbolizes the search for connection, albeit in a distorted and invasive way, and the intrinsic human curiosity about the other. The work offers no easy solutions or moralizing speeches. Instead, it presents a scenario, a dilemma, and invites the viewer to reflect on their own position in this universe of walls and eyes. It is a subtle but incisive social criticism, one that resonates on a deep level, making us question the nature of our own empathy and how willing we are to truly see and understand those around us. The final message is one of poignant complexity. Loneliness can lead to obsession, and a lack of genuine connection can turn us into mere observers, missing the opportunity to be active and compassionate participants in each other's lives. In terms of cultural impact and relevance, The Eye and the Wall is a film that enters the pantheon of works that provoke a necessary debate. Its approach to privacy, surveillance, and loneliness in an increasingly digitized world is extremely pertinent. In an era of social media and overexposure, where the boundaries between public and private are becoming increasingly blurred, the 2021 work serves as a stark reminder of the ethical and psychological implications of this new reality. The film not only entertains, but also educates and provokes, encouraging the audience to self-analyze their own information consumption habits and their relationship with others' personal space. Its relevance transcends the boundaries of cinema, becoming a topic of discussion in various areas, from sociology to psychology. It is the kind of film that lingers in memory, not for its special effects or grand plot twists, but for the strength of its premise, the depth of its questions, and the way it echoes in our own experiences. The absence of explicit judgment, yet the striking presence of its moral implications, makes the work a starting point for important conversations about the ethics of observation and the responsibility that comes with the ability to see others' lives. The Eye and the Wall is therefore not just a film, but an instrument of reflection on the human condition at the turn of the millennium, a mirror that confronts us with our own vulnerabilities and those of our neighbors. When considering the legacy and future impact of The Eye and the Wall, it is evident that we are facing a work that has the potential to become a milestone in contemporary independent cinema. Its courage in abandoning narrative conventions to explore psychological depth and social nuances places it among films that stand the test of time. It aligns with a lineage of works that prioritize contemplation and experience over mere plot, inviting the viewer to an immersion that goes beyond superficial entertainment. The way the work addresses universal themes such as loneliness, curiosity, and the limits of privacy, even with such a particular setting, ensures its resonance across generations. It is a film that can be revisited multiple times, revealing new layers and insights with each new screening, as its richness lies in the subtlety of its details and the depth of its inquiries. The influence of the work will likely manifest in emerging directors who will seek inspiration in its formal audacity and its ability to tell powerful stories with limited resources, focusing on visual expressiveness and the power of the unspoken. The artistic value of The Eye and the Wall is undeniable. Its aesthetic consistency, the exquisite technical execution in all departments, from cinematography to editing, from art direction to soundtrack, and the strength of its thematic proposal elevate it to a level of excellence. It is a film that demonstrates the power of cinema as an art form and as a tool for reflection. It is not a film to be passively consumed. It is to be experienced, felt, digested. Its ability to evoke complex emotions without resorting to melodramatic artifices is proof of its genius. The work challenges the viewer to step out of their comfort zone, to confront their own preconceptions about what constitutes an interesting story and how narratives can be constructed. It is an invitation to appreciate a more contemplative cinema, one that values atmosphere, subtext, and the depth of characters above all else. The audacity of its proposal and the masterful way it is executed make The Eye and the Wall a true gift for cinephiles, a work that will certainly be studied and celebrated for its originality and its profound understanding of the human condition. It is a testament to the strength of visual narrative and the power of silence in cinema. We now arrive at a crucial phase of our analysis, where we deepen the critical perspective on The Eye and the Wall, evaluating not only its triumphs, but also the points where the work may generate different interpretations or even resistance from the audience. Despite its undeniable artistic mastery, the film's deliberately slow pace can be a challenge for viewers accustomed to more dynamic narratives and instant gratification. For less patient audiences, the absence of explanatory dialogue and the gradual progression of the plot can lead to a sense of drag or even boredom. This is a conscious stylistic choice by the director, but it must be acknowledged that it limits its appeal to a niche of viewers more open to contemplative cinema. Another point that may generate debate is the moral ambiguity of some situations. Although this is a strength of the film, as it invites individual reflection, some viewers may miss a clearer resolution or a more explicit stance on the protagonist's actions. The work refuses to judge, and this refusal can be interpreted by some as a lack of engagement with the darker ethical implications of voyeurism and obsession. There is a fine line between artistic observation and the invasion of privacy, and the film walks this line with a neutrality that for some may be unsettling. Despite these considerations, what The Eye and the Wall offers is an intense and unforgettable cinematic experience for those who surrender to its premise. Its originality and the depth of its approach to themes of loneliness, connection, and surveillance position it as a significant work of art in the panorama of contemporary cinema. The ability to provoke thought and generate profound discussions about the human condition and the complexities of social relationships in the modern era is an achievement that few films manage to accomplish. In summary, The Eye and the Wall is a film that is not afraid to be different, to challenge expectations, and to demand active participation from its audience. It is a work that, while it may not please everyone, will certainly leave an indelible mark on those who allow themselves to be immersed in its silent and deeply unsettling universe. Its relevance and artistic value make it an essential piece for understanding cinema as a tool for psychological and social exploration. It is an invitation to look beyond the surface into the lives unfolding behind the invisible walls that surround us.